One of the challenges with, say, a 20-year-old undergraduate is for 40 weeks of the year they're not even in the constituency. So if I deliver a leaflet, knock on a door, appear on their regional television programme, they don't even know I've done it. So something like social networking is the only way to get through to them. But they're all in groups to do with, I went to the local secondary school, I hate Thornbury, I love Yates, I like the man with the green van in the high street, all this kind of stuff. And of course they then have friends, and their friends have friends, and once you've got a credibility threshold, once you've got so many hundred young people in the area who are your friends and they see that their friends are your friends, you overcome that hurdle. Because the channels are open, I can then set up groups of them with common interests, and they get in touch with me now. I mean, a classic one, we had a message at 1:15 a.m. from somebody's mobile phone accessing Facebook, messaging me about something they'd seen in the shop. I mean, they were probably drunk at the time, but you can't get much more lower in the barriers than that. It's much easier to do something locally where you're perhaps known already, where the networks, the viral effect is much stronger, friends of friends. It's very hard to do it nationally. We're trying, but I think we're all learning at this game. We try things, some work, some don't. I used a manifesto consultation website for party members, but because you wanted to be fairly open about policy ideas, you had to password protect it. And that immediately put lots of people off, and they'd remember their password and then they forget it. And we didn't get a lot of life on it, and when there's not a lot of life on it, then you don't go to it, and it's a downward spiral. So we haven't got a good answer on that one. I tried putting it on my Facebook page, what one Lib Dem policy would you come up with? Lots of very interesting ideas, although nothing that I haven't completely thought of. I mean, the balance is interesting. I mean, on Facebook, I've been very struck by young people's concerns about buses. So I've come back to Westminster this autumn and I've run a debate on buses, and then I've messaged them all and given them a link to the Hansard online of what I said, and a lot of them have been dead chuffed, and I've had lots of messages back saying, glad you're raising this issue. So you can close the loop. I think we have a real problem as Lib Dems, that on the one hand, philosophically, we want to involve people, we want to ask people what they think, but actually we get involved in politics because we think we know. We get involved because we have opinions, because we have values, and actually there are things I don't consult my constituents on because I know what I think. I'm not prepared to change what I think because they're my core values, and I'll have to find other ways of registering that they don't agree with me by not voting for me. And I think as a political party, I think there are things you can consult on, there are things you can listen, you can let the public shape. For example, prioritisation. What do people really care about? Well, there's a whole lot of things we as a political party care about, but if we get a message back from people they really want us to talk about issue X, then we might talk more about issue X. We won't necessarily say, if we were pro the war, anti the war in Iraq, we'll be pro it if that's what people say to us. There's a limit to all of this, but if they can help shape the agenda, the things we talk about, maybe the way we talk about them, then it can work. Look at what's happened in America. The focus has been substantially on fundraising. How does the Howard Dean, the little-known governor, get known and raise money? Well, he gets his $5 and $10 from everywhere through the net. But of course, we can't spend that money in the UK. He needs that for multi-million-pound advertising campaigns. We're not allowed to advertise on the telly. So actually, although political parties want to raise money, that's not the focus for us. I think it could be re-engaging with young people. But admittedly, the articulate end of young people, we're not talking the dispossessed here, we're talking people who are IT literate by and large, but it's a start. If you want to get from 60% turnout to 70% turnout, this is where you start. And I had a message only today, someone on Facebook sort of said, who are you? And then finally worked out who I was, and then saw the question, what do you think should be in the Lib Dem manifesto? And her message was, what's the manifesto? Now, there is no way that woman would have voted at the next general election without this process, because she wouldn't know who I was, what's the manifesto. We've now got that channel open, and if we can replicate that, and a lot of Lib Dem MPs particularly, I've been chivying to do it, more than half of them are now on Facebook and so on, and I hope it will just transform the way we communicate, at least with that section of the electorate.